Hello friends, welcome back. In my last lecture, I showed you how to use for next loop in ExcelVBA, and for demonstration purpose, we used this data set of a class of 10 students. Their marks obtained in three subjects, English, History and Maths. And using ExcelVBA, we obtained the total marks in column 5 and percentage of marks in column 6 of each of the students. Let us step into the Visual Basic code we wrote in my last lecture. So we go to Developer tab, Design Mode, and then double click this Total Score button. Okay. So these were the few lines of codes we used here. We used one for next loop, and the for next loop started uh, with a value of 2 and ended with a value of 11. So we use this variable I for running through the data records or the rows of the data set, and the start value of the first row is 2 and the last row is the end value is 11. So this is in the for next loop for this variable. This is the start value and this is the end value, right? And then we uh, got the sum of the numbers of each of the students in column 5 as cells I2 plus I3 plus I4, right? Now we go back to the worksheet again, and let us add another student's information. Say marks in English is 50 and then 62 and then 89. Okay, and draw this border here, border center justified. Okay, now if you refresh all these previous calculations and go back to this total score button, click here. Okay, click here. We'll have to turn the design mode off. Click here. See, it has calculated the total marks of students up to row number 11, that is from student ID 1 to 10, and it has done nothing for student ID 11, that is in row number 12. Why? Because in the code, the I varies from row number 2 to row number 11. That was your end value. That is why it has not done anything for the student in row number 12. Okay. So that is a limitation of the program. So we want to make it dynamic. So how can we do it? Let us refresh all this data. Let me keep it like that. Now I'm going to modify the code here. I've already written it in the notepad, and I'm going to simply copy it and paste it here in order to save time. Paste it in the Visual Basic editor against the command button 2. Okay, and now let us see what it does. Okay, so instead of varying I from a fixed value of 2 and a fixed end value of 11, now we are using two variables here as well. So we are keeping this flexible. So start value can be anything and end value can be anything, and these two values will be controlled by the user. Okay, so we'll obtain start value through an input box. This is a function of ExcelVBA input box, and the syntax is like this. So we'll use input box function, and within parentheses, within close commas, we'll write enter first data row number. Okay, and also we'll for end value we'll use another input box, and we'll obtain the last data row number through this input box. Okay, so this is the syntax, and this is how you can get the start value and end value. So that will be flexible now, and we have alongside our previous variable that was I, we have declared two other variables, that is start value and end value, and these two variables are also integer type of variables, right? Now let us go back to the worksheet and see what is the change we have got. So we'll click on this total score button now, and now it will pop up with a box, the input box, which is a built-in box or feature of Microsoft Excel, and you obtain this input box, or it is showing the input box because of your coding. In coding, you have used input box function, and it is saying enter first data row number. So we'll enter 2 because that is where your data starts. Okay, and last row number is 12. Okay, so we'll write 12, and now press OK, and that should do the job for you. See, it has now calculated up to the last data record, and it has calculated the total marks for all of the students in the class, right? Now if you add another student's information here, student ID 12, and marks obtained is 45, 65, 90, okay, and put borders if you like, center justify, right? And now try the command button again. Total score, enter first data row number is 2, and the last data row number this time is 13. Okay, so write 13, and that should do the job for you. Okay, that is beauty. So now it is, this for next loop is a dynamic for next loop. You have flexibility to enter your first number and the last number. Again, let us do it. Total score is the first data row number is 2, and the last data row number, say you don't want to calculate more than 9th row number, so you put 9, and that should do the job up to the 9th row. Okay, it will not go beyond. So wherever you want to stop it, it will stop accordingly. Now this is one way of doing it. Okay, and let me go back to the, let's undo it. Okay, and make it right justified, and I'll explain another line of code that I have added here in the program. This one I have explained, but I have not explained this line of code. What is this doing? This is actually center justifying the contents in cells I5. So the contents in cells I5, we are telling contents in cells I5, and its horizontal alignment is Excel center. Okay, Excel center is the specific code you'll have to use, because by using this, it will understand that you are telling Microsoft Excel to center justify the contents of cells I5. Okay, that is why it is, if you, even if you from the home tab, even if you right justify it after running the program, let us see, after running the program, it will center justify it to, and say the last one is 13. Okay, and then click OK. See, so it has not only calculated the total marks, it has also center justified the contents in column 5. So at the same time, you can do mathematical calculations or operations, and also you can do formatting of your cells contents. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. We can try another way. We can try another way. If you don't want to use these input box, so let us delete all these things. We are not going to use any input box, so we want to get rid of these statements or the codes. And for I is equal to, we know that our data is going to start from 2, that is obvious, but we are not sure about the end value. Okay, so where is the end value? End value is a variable. It can stop here, it can stop there, it can be anywhere. It depends on the size of your class and how many data you can keep or store in this worksheet. I told you earlier in my first lecture that there are 10,48,576 rows in this worksheet. Okay, so we can do it like this. Let us use the maximum capacity of the worksheet. So we'll put 10,48,576. Okay, now your data must not be beyond this capacity, definitely. But here we are going to use an if block. So we will use a logic here, if, okay. So it will go to the for next loop, and from within the for next loop we are going to use a condition here that if the value in column A, if any cell value in column A is not blank, okay, then you do this. If any cell value in column A is not blank, that is in the first column, if any value, this is not blank, so it will do this job. This is not blank, this will do this job, fine. But when it will come to this one at this moment, when this is, it will find that the first value in the cell value in the column A is blank, it will not do the job, or it will not add the it will not look for any marks, and it will not do anything, and it will not find you the total marks, okay. So we are going to add this logic here. If this is not blank, if this is not blank, only then you do this, okay. So you do this and then you close the end if block. So if this is true, it will do this, and then it will look for the next I value. So we are going to put an indent here as well, indent it. That gives you more clarity. So for next loop stands out very clearly, and the if block looks very clear, and within the if blocks what are the operations the program should do, that also looks stand out very clearly because you have indented the state of the lines of codes, okay. Now if you do it, let us see what it does. It is expected that it will work. It may not work if there is any mistake in the coding. So turn the design mode off, click on the total score button, and see runtime error, and there is an overflow. Why? Let us debug it. Go back. So it is highlighted that there is something wrong here. Okay, what is wrong? There is nothing wrong. Apparently, it seems there is nothing wrong. In fact, there is a mistake. You declared this I variable as integer. When you declare a data type as integer, there is a maximum large number up to which it can hold. So in this case, because you are going up to 10,48,576, this integer data type is not enough. So you are going to you'll have to declare it as a long variable. Okay, now it will be able to accommodate large numbers as well. Now it should work. Let's see. I'll explain about these data types later on as we progress. So we go back to the worksheet again, and now if you try it, it should work. See, it has worked now. So only by changing the variable type, you made your program working perfectly. Fine. So it has stopped working, and it has calculated the total marks. It didn't ask for any first row or last row number. It has automatically found out because you put a logic that if any cell in the column A is blank, don't go further. Okay? Because that will identify or indicate that this is your first available blank row. Okay, right. Go back to this program again, and let us put another function here. That is a message box, because the program stopped, but it didn't give us any message that the program has done the job. Okay, so let us use a message box here, so that program prompts up with a message that yes, your job is done. Okay, so you're going to use this message box function, and that is the syntax. After message box, within the close commas, whatever you write, that will be popped up. Let's see. Close it. Let us do more fun out of ExcelVBA, and go turn this design mode off, and now click on this command button again. So it is doing the job. It is taking time. You must notice that it is taking time. I'll help you out of that as well. See, and after it is done, it has now popped up with a message that your job is done. That is very kind of it. Okay, right, kind of Microsoft Excel. So press OK. Okay, and we want to reduce our runtime of the program. It was taking time because because you varied this I from 2 to last record of the Excel worksheet. In fact, this I is taking you or runs you through the rows, right? The rows of your data set. Now, is it not illogical to have so many students in one class? I think it is. I mean, I have never heard of any class size of more than 1 million, right? Usually a class size is like how much? 100, 50, maximum 100 or something like that. But if you want to be on the safest side, uh, so let us make it 500. Okay. Is there any class of 500 students these days? I don't think so. Okay. So you'll probably not have a data record, data set of more than 500 records. It is possibly not practically possible. So let us reduce this n value, okay, and keep it within a reasonable value, but be on the safe side so that your program never gets stuck, okay. If it gets any student more than the last n value, that will be a disgrace for you, okay. So keep it like that and go back to the program again. Turn the design mode off, clear all this data, all these total marks, and now click on the total score again. See, it has now taken very short time and it is done your job. Your job is done. Okay, that is fine. So this is how you can use ExcelVBA for many different purposes. Today we have learned several items of ExcelVBA. For example, we have seen how to use input box function. We have seen how to use message box function, and we have also seen how to use how to center justify, or how to format, in one sense, how to format the contents of a cell using ExcelVBA without having to use any tabs on ExcelVBA Microsoft Excel ribbons. Okay, and we have also seen how to use an if block within a for next loop. So there are flexibilities. I mean, you can do almost anything using ExcelVBA. Within for next loop, you can use if block, and also within an if and if block, you can also use another for next loop. So these things go on as far as you, according to your requirements. Okay, you'll never get bogged down. You'll always have freedom to use your logics and use all the functions and formulas and statements, all these things in your ExcelVBA programming. And with the help of these few tricks and you will be able to develop ExcelVBA applications. Like this is also an application of very small size, but this is an application, all right. So have fun, enjoy ExcelVBA more and more, and I'll come back with more ExcelVBA tricks very shortly. And one thing more, I'm giving you an assignment. You should be able to do the same task or to modify your program for the percentage column, that is column number 6. Okay, just go there and click on the percentage tab. You can write the similar codes here, or you can copy paste it and bring the modifications or do the modifications as per your requirement. I'll leave that with you. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching this.